All right, everyone, welcome. Hopefully you can hear us. Please let us know in chat if it's all good. But this is Sith Skirmish round number 1. I apologize. It took us a couple minutes longer to get in here than we meant to. Hopefully this will be a little smoother in the future rounds. But the players have begun their first round with Dakota McGinnis at the top taking the, the initiative was with Kylo, I believe. They're in turn 1 right now.
Yeah.
Of their game, and Kylo has begun by deploying a Greedo and a Death Star Stormtrooper, and Qi'ra is his opponent, who's playing an Inferno 4 into space. We have we did lie. We said there was going to be a Lando. Yeah. This is not the Lando match, unfortunately. Yeah, no.
Thanks for pointing that out.
We had a miscommunication. I thought we were going to get the Lando match. We'll make sure to get the Lando match for round 2. Because we do want to see Lando. Hopefully the Lando wins so that we feel good about putting it onto the stream. But we have done the regroup for turn 1 now, and the initiative, I believe actually the initiative is now with the Qi'ra player who has played a Pike Sentinel.
Yep. And really, the typical aggressive start for Kylo here too, in the cunning colors, just really try to get that ground arena going strong, but then my favorite card, Inferno 4, is in play, so I'm torn again.
Inferno 4 is your favorite card, huh?
It is my favorite card. It's I don't know, this game has changed my player identity a lot, weirdly enough. We could talk about that later. I'm not so much a big aggro guy anymore, and Inferno 4 is a big reason why.
Really? That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, the aggro player should appreciate the Kylo Ren gameplay here, where Kylo Ren is just trying to dump his hand as fast as possible, flip out a 5-power Kylo as early as he can, and just push a ton of damage. And the Qi'ra match is unfortunately a little tough for this because, as you can see right here, Dakota is already doing what he needs to do in the ground arena, which is he has an early Sentinel. Respecting the aggro and playing the Pike is awesome. Yeah. And then Qi'ra gets to put some damage and a shield on him. The damage, of course, isn't going to matter because all of Dakota's things are going to one-shot the Pike anyway, but the shield, of course, makes it able to take multiple hits. Now, Dakota playing around this a little bit with a bit of a spicy shield removal there with a Daring Raid, which is nice.
That was kind of wild. I didn't expect that.
Daring Raid is a card I actually lost to at our store showdown yesterday.
Oh, really?
It was 2 damage. It was what's changed the game. It was pretty. I
think it's fine. I think it's a perfectly reasonable card.
It's a card that I'm starting to respect a little more. I'm going to jam into decks a little more often because sometimes you just need that extra 2 damage, and Sentinels get in the way, but it kills them.
Yeah. I think it's the right amount for the rate of play you get out of it. You're paying the right amount for it, I think. I was kind of down on it at first, but I really like it.
Yeah, I do think it's good. We have an activation of Kylo Ren now pitching a Haxian Brood in order to pump this Greedo up to push for 5 damage.
Jeez.
Pretty remarkable onto base.
Yeah.
Let me get, we're going to get our damage updated here in just a moment. Just hang on.
We're all learning this together, and by all of us, Dan is doing all of it.
This is this is a tricky situation. A little bit of work to manage everything at once.
Kylo is just keeping the gas. Exactly what we need to be doing here. Just full throttle.
Oops, excuse me.
Just jam it.
I just screwed something up here. Hang on.
We'll be fine.
There we go. We're back. We're back. We're good. We're fixed. All right, Jeddah City. It looks like Jeddah City has 3 damage on it. I'm trying to figure out where the 3 came from.
Is that 4? Might be 4.
It looks like 3 1s to me.
Maybe.
It's 3 1s.
3 1s it is.
I just don't know where that damage source came from.
I think it was when the screen went loopy, but there's Chilton, another one of my favorite cards.
Yes. Chilton is definitely one of my top favorite cards in the game.
Yeah.
Chilton popping down, revealing, looks like 2 blue cards to get just 2 experience counters on him, which isn't quite enough. It does mean that a lot of these things are going to be able to deal with them. Even Greedo attacking into it and hitting the flip will take care of Chilton. You really want to see 4 with this Chilton when you can. But that is the that's the cost of playing him in a deck that isn't exclusively blue, so it doesn't get quite as full of stuff.
Yeah, as you kind of get the hands where you're gonna have like, I guess your best case scenario is usually like 3. Sometimes you'll get the whole grip, but not when it's 2-color like this.
I did figure out the damage by the way. It was the Ruthless Gunslinger. Put 1 more damage on things. So the attack, there's an attack from Inferno 4, and the Ruthless Gunslinger did the other damage. So that's why we're at 6 on.
That makes sense.
6 on the base as well. And we have already had epic actions used as well. These epic actions came out really fast. Both players understanding that they need to use these while they're still in the game. So denying damage early on with Jeddah City, and using ECL just to try and take stuff out. So we have a Kylo pitching another Greedo to pump up the Greedo in play. And we could be pulling up some cards here. Actually, I just realized we don't even have the cards being displayed when some of these are happening. I should let me get that going.
Now we got Kylo getting deployed. We're not quite hellbent or any, or we are hellbent actually. Yeah, so, okay. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with how the players manipulate their resources.
Yeah, it is not always
not negatively
simple.
Like just with. Yeah, but we are. Yeah, Kylo is super live.
Kylo's live. He is flipped. And
that's a hot shot blaster?
He's got a hot shot blaster on him as well. This Kylo's pushing a crazy amount of damage. Insanely fast, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
It's like the players are having a little discussion about it, but like, hey, but yeah, this guy has a gun and a lightsaber, but now, how's that all work? Just like one hand, you put one away when you shoot the other.
He's not holding the lightsaber right now. That's the difference here.
In the picture, but that's fair. Yeah, and he's swinging.
Here we go. We're gonna get a little finally some card display for you all here. So there's our hotshot blaster. Again, thank you for your
on the base.
Yeah, it is indeed 18 on the base. Thank you again for your patience, everyone, as we're kind of figuring everything out. But yeah, already 18 on ECL, 7 left, which is just remarkably fast. The power of Kylo just kind of pushing in there. The Pike Sentinel, even the Pike Sentinel with Qi'ra, wasn't able to hold off the insane amount of damage.
That daring raid was actually pretty clutch.
How clutch was that daring raid?
It really made things super neat. Like especially investing extra resources to make the Pike Sentinel harder to deal with, and it didn't really matter.
And the Chilton too. Like, yeah, amazing how little the Chilton actually did in this matchup. But the fight's not over, and of course,
absolutely not.
If Christos runs out of gas here, and that's the thing Kylo does is just dump your hand, right? And if Dakota is able to find a way to turn the corner this turn, we're at. I was about to say we're at overwhelming barrage territory.
I had to know it was coming.
But the problem is all he has is the Inferno 4. He needed 1 more damage. If that Inferno 4 was just a little bit bigger, then he could have also hit the Greedo. But now the Greedo is still going to come in for an additional 3 damage. Putting Dakota to 21. 4 away from death. Kylo is flipped. The Greedo can get out of here now. Qi'ra is coming out. Qi'ra's deploying to space, which is a pretty cool place for Qi'ra to be. Qi'ra floating around out there.
Yeah, that's where she goes for sure.
I'm sure the players will
too many
fix it.
I'm sure they'll figure that out, guys. It's okay. It's okay. We're not seeing, revolutionary, crazy new things that we didn't know about here.
Qi'ra deploying to space. You do love to see it. You do love to see it.
We do, in fact, love to see it. Yep, wrong side. They'll hopefully get that figured out in a minute. I'm sure they will. She can't breathe there. I know I can't breathe there.
I have never been able to breathe in space, but it might be a first for Qi'ra.
Dakota might know more than we do about that. So
we do have another Ruthless Gunslinger who's going to push a little more damage onto the base here too. That guaranteed damage, again, like Kylo getting to run cards like Daring Raid and Ruthless Gunslinger, when he pushes all the way to past 20 on a 25 health base, those cards can just close the game.
Yeah. There we go. She's gonna be able to breathe now, guys. Everything's good.
That pumped up Inferno 4 also came in for 4, and then plus the one for Ruthless there. Qi'ra swinging in to take out the Ruthless, saying, I mean, like, just we can't let anything exist in play right now.
Right.
And unfortunately, we do have Christos taking initiative with that Greedo attack available, and Greedo is lethal.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Granted, I'm not playing. Like, deploying Qi'ra there instead of just... Maybe they know their hand is just not there, and, like, just snap taking initiative and seeing what you draw. Because knowing you're still facing lethal. Because Christos had full resources and cards in hand, so you have to know he's likely playing something else. So I'm not too sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, our math is right here. It's
that should be lethal unless we're missing something.
22, and initiative appears to be on the side of Kylo. So that looks like a game 1 to me. But
for you Greedo gamers,
yeah, he's
out there.
Attack base.
He's going the distance.
Greedo, and that is...
Did we miss something?
25 on a ECL?
25 on 25 is GG, as we say in the business.
6 times 4 is 24. The last time I learned math, that was what it was.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. It looks like maybe the players perhaps are just discussing the game state a little bit.
I'm wondering if Dakota kind of just miscounted where they were at.
It's really easy to do.
They had a little more. Oh yeah.
When the damage comes in that fast.
And not only that too, like, yeah. Well, actually, that's it. The pace of the game, like, it was going so fast. Like, I could definitely see where things like that do happen. But yeah, that's going to be game 1 to Christos on Cunning Kylo.
Yes. Game 1 goes to Christos.
And that was the game plan, right? Just go crazy and hope your opponent does have meaningful interaction. And in this instance, Qi'ra did the best they could in the early turns, especially with the Pike Sentinel. Like, Pike Sentinel, especially Gundammed up like that, normally should be able to gum it up a little bit. And that was just not remotely the case.
Yeah, it was a very impressive, very fast game plan from Kylo Ren. And something that, honestly, when we get to set 3 is only going to get faster, I think. Yeah. So I think Kylo has has some explosive potential like that when your handle comes together.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that people like to be negative about Kylo, and like, well, you're going to get stuck with cards in your hand. Well, what happens when you don't? And I think this happened.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you just wrap the game up. It's one of those decks that we joke around with at locals. It's like, it's the lunch break deck, because you either get to have a quick lunch in between rounds, because you either win in about 4 turns, or we call it lose in about 4 turns. Because, I like to eat, go outside, and get some fresh air.
That was exactly 4 turns, by the way. Like, that's exactly right.
Yeah, it's just how I drew it up.
Yeah, it was. That was an insanely fast game.
I didn't see the ECL or the Jeddah City activations, but I'm assuming the ECL is extremely defensive.
The ECL. I can't even remember the unit. I can't remember. It was just it was a trade. It just happened right away.
It was so fast, and plus the screen went screwy for us because we're still working stuff out.
This is the cost, by the way, of doing casting and also being the program operator on the live stream as well. So I am doing absolutely everything here. So if anything ever takes a moment to update or anything, chat, feel free to let me know. Hey Dan, you missed this or something, because I'll make sure it gets fixed as soon as
Please communicate. Let us know. We're not going to take offense or get angry.
It was the Chilton.
It was for the Chilton.
I thought it was the Chilton, because that Chilton just disappeared. He was deleted as soon as his on play happened.
We were resizing the screen or something on our end, and I didn't quite see it.
Yep. I think we're good now. I think we're good. And I'm going to be able to get cards displayed for everyone here. So we should be good for all the future rounds, in a pretty good spot. But just going from having to run the player meeting, make sure everyone gets enrolled correctly, head judge has everything he needs, then starting the stream and trying to get into the scenes. It was needed a little more time than we had, but we also didn't want to make our players wait for an excessive amount of time to get started.
And we want you guys to wait.
I forgot Adam's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. I didn't realize that.
It's not invited to my cat's quinceanera, though. All right. So we're figuring out what we're resourcing here, it looks like.
I come to your cat's quinceanera?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Duh.
Okay.
Open invite to everybody except Adam.
So it looks like initiative should be with Dakota, I will assume, with this one.
I think the face down counter on Christos' side obviously makes things a little confusing, but I'm very certain that Dakota will want initiative here.
Yes. Yeah, Christos' Kylo Ren deck is quite impressive. We got the Pike coming down again with the Sentinel.
We like that.
Pike Sentinel. I always feel like Pike Sentinel has a different name. Like I keep thinking like, oh no, it's Pike something and he has Sentinel, but he's actually Pike Sentinel.
No, he's just
Eddie has Sentinel.
What he says in the name.
It's right on the name. It's right there.
Yeah.
So we're likely to see the Pike Sentinel with a potential Qi'ra shield next turn if he maintains initiative. We do have a Mercenary Gunship. I want to talk about this card a little bit.
Sweet.
The Mercenary Gunship is a card that I think just about everybody wrote off when the set was first spoiled. Because, you know, it's a colorless 3/2. Honestly, who even looks at the colorless cards right away? You're like, no, it's got to be bad. And it has an action to take control of it, which immediately you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Except when you realize that 4 cost is so much. And 2 for a 3/2 that just trades with stuff or pushes early damage is totally worth it. So we have...
It looks like
Kylo
it up.
Yeah, we
got the TIE silencer in the bin now.
We have an extremely strong turn 2 from Kylo pumping that Mercenary Gunship +2 with Kylo using Kylo's TIE silencer. He's going to swing in for 5 now.
Yikes. Like a 3/2 for 2 is completely reasonable in this list. Regardless if your opponent wants to spend the resources to take it, okay, sure.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You're probably at least going to get one crack with it, and especially with the Kylo activation. Then now here's Greedo.
A 3/2 for 2 is just it's 3 more copies of TIE Silencer. Except TIE Silencer now gets to do this. He gets to go, you know what? I have 2 3/2s in space.
Yeah, it looks like Qi'ra plays Dr. Pershing, and then we got TIE Silencer in play now. So shoring up the ground units, getting the Pike Sentinel out, and now we're just all in on space right now.
Absolutely.
My, how the turns have tabled.
How the turntable. Okay, we have 2 damage on to the... I actually think that Christos is maybe removing the epic action when he uses.
Yeah,
I think we had that flipped around the first action. I think he's using the epic action token to indicate that he hasn't used Jedha City yet, if I'm understanding this right. Okay.
Power of the dark side.
Yeah, Christos is now actually showing a little bit of control, which is really good. It's what he needs to do. Power of the dark side coming down, going to force the gunship to head on out of here. Christos looking to keep the Greedo in play to potentially get rid of some of the damage coming back on him instead. Or perhaps deny Dr. Pershing's value. We'll see. But I mean, I know
we'll see about that.
We'll see. He's going to have to get rid of that Sentinel first, but a daring raid could change things again.
Yeah.
Maybe. But we do have the Sentinel does have the shield on it from Qi'ra now too. So it's actually going to provide quite a roadblock. I'm almost a little confused. I feel like sacking the Greedo might have been a decent idea here, but perhaps Christos might have been afraid of just Dakota taking the Mercenary Gunship next turn, even though that's not a very efficient turn. It's
not efficient, but it's also a reasonable thing to worry about. I think I would have probably got rid of the Greedo too, just to keep the pressure in space. But I mean, still have a Kylo activation here.
Kylo, pitching a Toro Calican, who's just an efficient 3/5 that can sometimes untap if you're get to play Greedos afterwards or something. So pretty cool card in Kylo also.
Yeah.
So that Kylo's TIE Silencer is sitting at a 5/2 now, about to push Qi'ra to 10. We have an initiative take from Guinness, and then we're hitting for 5 more.
But I feel like right now, if you're Qi'ra, you have to be feeling like, okay, bleeding. The bleeding should start slowing down a little bit, but here comes Kylo now.
That's exactly why Kylo's so powerful, is like just when you feel like the bleeding should be stopping.
Yeah, now we got more cards.
Is exactly when Kylo drops.
I lied.
And this is the turn you're afraid of. This is the turn you're afraid of. And this is actually the reason Fallen Lightsaber is good in Kylo is specifically for dealing with Qi'ra shielded sentinels.
Yeah, the shields. Yeah, this is
going to be absolutely destructive. Kylo's going to be able to attack, and with this Fallen Lightsaber, ping all of the ground units, getting rid of the shield, and then getting rid of that Pike Sentinel entirely.
Oh, my goodness.
Leaving Greedo free to take care of Pershing or push damage. He's
never mind.
Pushing damage, though. Straight damage, of course.
I think pushing damage here.
No, I mean, you're like, that's fine. You can draw some cards. The game's going to be over before you can use them.
I don't think you're really caring about the extra card draw here at all.
No, not even a little bit.
Because, I mean, we have both our arenas covered, too. So even if, like, that is a removal here, like, you're still have so much pressure right now.
Now, the thing is, Dakota still has that ECL available. And
that is true.
Does have to use it before the game is over. So hopefully he's might be waiting on a good unit just to drop and ECL
can't use it after 25 health.
No, that's when it's no longer usable.
Yeah, you cannot use it anymore.
We'll just have to see
but
here.
Again, this is just going, again, another very fast, hyper-aggressive start from Christos, you know, and this is what you want to be doing. You want to be asking the questions. You do not want to be providing the answers.
Power of the Dark Side, unfortunately, not the answer that Dakota needs to provide to Christos' questions.
It's not great in this matchup, probably in general, because they're spread so wide.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, you got one of my 2 drops out of the 3 I have in play.
It's a match that could potentially be different with the like making openings or something respecting.
That's what I was thinking. I was curious about that, but it could be a matter of were they in the board, were they drawn, stuff like that.
So Qi'ra flip is going to happen, and the Qi'ra flip is going to provide half damage to everything in play, which is going to do a chunk to that Kylo Ren, who is from the Fallen Lightsaber. Kind of absolutely absurdly huge.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome and thank you so much.
Morning, King. King.
You always say good morning.
King is King's one of our good morning crew at Main Deck. I love our Main Deck Discord good morning crew.
We have a lot of, active good morning stuff.
Jerry, welcome.
Oh, there's another Fallen Lightsaber.
Another okay. I don't even need to put another card up because it's already on display.
The same one. It is in fact the same one.
This Kylo is dual wielding double bladed lightsabers, which is something that you only see in like Star Wars teenage fan fictions, right?
I was ready to say like OC do not steal kind of content.
Juicy game, it's Javen. Yo, welcome,
What's
Javen.
Up, Javen? Yeah, this game is juicy.
This game is absolutely Javen. You got to build. I know, Javen, you're a Kylo fan. You got to build this Kylo list, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
This is this Kylo is tearing it up right now. Qi'ra is going to Qi'ra was potentially going to threaten the Kylo, but that second Fallen Lightsaber I think puts him out of range.
Here's the ECL activation for Childson.
Didn't Darth Bane do that once? Maybe that does sound like something that during that era we would have said is
we have the ECL activation. We get 3 blue cards for Chilton.
Yep.
So okay.
ECL Chilton, 5 power, can crash into the Greedo here. I assume that's what's going to happen. We're going to get the experience counters and crash into the Greedo and take it out, and then leave the blocker in play for Kylo Ren to have to deal with. No, the problem is though the Fallen Lightsaber just kills the Chilton. Kylo takes nothing back.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I'm wondering if that was part of the deliberation on the decision for the decision path for the turn.
Double Fallen Lightsaber is just one of the most disgusting things that you could imagine seeing, to be honest. Yeah. This board, like nothing can actually survive this board with a double Fallen Lightsaber Kylo. If Dakota can find an answer, like he's at 5 resources. I don't think he committed the resources for Childson in play, but
oh yeah, we need to make sure that gets fixed. But I think we're at 5 resources anyway, so that was your play.
Yep.
Or how many? Or how many?
For Chilton's 4. Chilton's 4.
Chilton's 4. So we at least have one up, but this is just
the 2 damage. See, and there's the, you know, he has to attack the Chilton. He still has to attack it. So Kylo's at least not going to deal any damage now, but the fallen lightsaber triggers caused Chilton to die before any damage was dealt back to Kylo, meaning that Kylo is just sitting here an absolute menace. And a barrage. Okay, maybe we might have mixed this up. The Chilton must have been last round.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm confused.
I'm a little confused too, because the Chilton dropped after the second fallen lightsaber, didn't it? Correct. He did. Chilton and Obi on 5. Let me get the head judge in here quick.
Yeah, we'll just get that cleared up for us and you guys, just to make sure we're all on the up and up. Again, maybe it's just the nerves, maybe it's the rush of playing through the game. Yeah, and like you said, imagine you're playing in your house, in your home where you're supposed to be comfortable. You have a camera on you, playing against somebody else, and then there's people watching you do that. So, and normally you're just playing at your normal, used to like playing at your locals and stuff. So there's definitely got to be an amount of nerves there.
Ryan, we had an unfortunate scenario where a player had played 2 things in the turn, forgetting to commit resources for one of them. And we had waited for a little bit of a resolution. It appears the resolution was issued as a game loss for the player who did that. But the scenario was not in their favor. Again, like Jason, like you were saying, in a scenario like this, if you're going to screw up and get a game loss at some point, I tend to prefer if it's in the game where I was already going to lose anyway.
Yeah, the losing situation for sure. I hate those games where it's like, in other games where it's like I have to give a game loss to somebody because and they're ahead.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then it feels even worse because like when you do it and somebody's like, you're like, okay, well, you know what? It wasn't going to go their way anyway. Shake it off, come back. When you do get it when you're ahead, there's like a mental guard break there, which isn't very great. And we don't want to be involved in that. So yeah, we got that figured out. Looks like we're going to be wrapping that up shortly.